In this video, I will tell you the amazing stories of victories and failures of 4 of the strongest freestyle wrestlers. This is an overview of the legendary careers of some of the most talented wrestlers of their time. They reached incredible heights, overcame adversity, and wrote their names in wrestling history forever. Let's plunge together into the world of their bright victories and difficult challenges. Wrestling is considered one of the most popular sports in the North Caucasus, with Dagestani and Chechen guys constantly taking top places at major tournaments. And the hero of today's video, Dzhamal Otarsultanov, is no exception. He wrote his name in the history of world sport by winning the 2012 London Olympics. And the most difficult for him was not the main tournament, but the national selection, which was held in an environment of fierce competition and a number of behind-the-scenes intrigues. Otarsultanov Dzhamal Sultanovich was born in the village of Solniknoye, Kosovo district, Dagestan Autonomous Soviet Republic in 1987. Being Chechen by nationality, the athlete later began to represent the Chechen Republic at Russian tournaments. Like most boys in his small homeland, Dzhamal was passionate about wrestling, devoting the lion's share of his time to sport rather than his studies. The only question was the choice between Greco-Roman and freestyle, which he decided in favor of the more dynamic freestyle. His childhood idols were the famous Chechen wrestlers Buvazer and Adam Saitiev, who were his role models. The young ambitious Caucasian began to win major tournaments from a young age. In 2005 he won a bronze medal at the Russian Championship, and a year later he repeated his achievement. As Dzhamal Otarsultanov himself emphasizes in all his interviews, in the weight category up to 55 kilograms there was always a tough competitive struggle without clear outsiders and favorites. In these conditions it was insanely difficult to overcome the sieve of national selection and make it to the Olympics. Nevertheless, he gradually moved up in the ranking of the strongest lightweights of the country, and in 2007 he stepped on the second step of the podium within the country. A year later, Dzhamal Otarsultanov already became the champion of Russia, but another athlete was chosen to go to the World Championships and Olympics. Later, he continued to try to overcome the national limits and reach the international level. But since 2009, the undisputed leader of the national team in the weight up to 55 kilograms has been Viktor Lebedev, a wrestler from Yakutia, who has beaten the Chechen at all tournaments. The rules of Olympic qualification are quite strict and provide for only one representative from each country to take part in the main tournament. Viktor Lebedev of Yakutia, who had won the national championship 3 times before, was the favorite in the 55 kilograms weight category. However, Dzhamal Otarsultanov was able to pull himself together at the decisive moment and produce the best season of his life. He defeated his principal rival in a tough and hard-fought match and secured the right to go to the Olympics. However, this was not enough to start calm and methodical preparation for the main tournament of the quadrennium. The situation was aggravated by the fact that Dzhamal suffered a knee injury shortly before the start of the Olympic tournament. Sports officials from Yakutia literally besieged the national freestyle wrestling team as base, demanding that the Chechen be replaced by their own athlete. Videos of Otarsultanov's training sessions began to appear, with the help of which they tried to prove the wrestler's lukewarm attitude to training. However, Dzhamal managed to fend off all attacks and retained his place in the national team. The Olympics became the main tournament of his career. At the stage of 1/8 of the final, he faced a not-too-famous opponent from Namibia, whom Dzhamal Otarsultanov defeated with a clear advantage. However, at the next stage of the tournament, the Chechen faced a very dangerous opponent. Korean Yang Kenil had once been world champion and was one of the favorites in the wrestlers' tournament. Otarsultanov himself called this fight the toughest in London, and it was the decisive one for him. After the victory over the Korean, Dzhamal felt confident in the final success and was unstoppable. He overcame the semi-final barrier in the face of Kazakh Niuzbekov without much tension and went to the main fight with Georgian athlete Kinchegashvili. The final was stubborn, with the Russian's opponent aggravating a knee injury in the course of the fight, and it came down to a video review of controversial moments. However, the Chechen wrestler was unstoppable, and he brought the fight to victory, becoming the third Chechen Olympic champion in freestyle wrestling history. After such a fiery season, the athlete decided to take a break and spend time treating old ailments. He underwent surgery and recovered from it for a long time. Having regained his shape, Dzhamal Otarsultanov decided not to wear out his body with constant weight loss and moved to the weight category up to 61 kilograms. After that, he participated in major competitions and took medals of different values. The athlete did not finish his career and continues to perform. Denis Tsargush, a famous Russian freestyle wrestler who is a 3-time world and European champion, 5-time champion of Russia, as well as a bronze medalist of the Olympic Games 2012. Denis Igorevich Tsargush was born on September 1, 1987 in the Abkhazian town of Gadoda, Georgian Soviet Republic. Like all Caucasian boys, from childhood he was interested in freestyle wrestling. Perseverance bore fruit. Denis repeatedly became a participant of youth tournaments, at one of which he drew the attention of CSKA coaches, who offered him to train at the famous club. Denis at that time was studying in the 9th grade and did not dream about major wrestling tournaments, much less the Olympic Games. The limit of the young men's dreams at that time was to be the strongest in the school, in the neighborhood. The proposal, of course, was accepted, so Denis Tsargush got into the big sport. Denis Tsargush is an optimist by nature, but always ready for surprises in life and in sports. He always has his own preparation for unforeseen situations, which allows him to easily overcome circumstances that are not in his favor. This quality made him an outstanding sportsman. According to Denis Tsargush, there are no easy ways to serious achievements in sports. He realized this when he won the World Junior Championships and achieved victories in the World Cup and Russian Championships. At the age of 19, Denis already competed at the National Championship, where he won gold. Later on, he climbed the first step of the podium of the Russian Championship 3 more times in 2009, 2010 and 2012. But 2008 was an exception for Tsargush. He got only bronze. The wrestler's successes were noticed by specialists, and in 2010 he is already playing for the Russian national team at the European Championships. Baku became the city where the young wrestler wins his first European Championship gold. In the future, he twice more in 2011 and 2012 he rises to the first step of the podium of the European Championship. Purposefulness and diligence of the young wrestler lead him to victory at the World Championship in 2009.
10 секунд до конца. Ну, есть шанс, выигрывает.
Thus, Denis Tsargush became the first athlete in Abkhazia to achieve the world champion title in freestyle wrestling. A year later, he successfully defended this title in a fight with Iranian Sadegh Gudarzi. Having such a solid record of sporting achievements, Denis could not fail to be on the Russian national team at the Olympics in 2012. However, the first games brought the wrestler only bronze in the weight up to 74 kilograms. On Tsargush's way to the top step of the podium was the American wrestler Jordan Burroughs, already familiar to him from the World Championships in Istanbul. He turned out to be stronger. Denis Tsargush, who even dreamed of winning gold at the London Olympics, received only a bronze medal. From that moment, Olympic gold became the meaning of life for him for the next 4 years, as he felt the spirit of the main sports competitions, the taste of victory, albeit bronze. And that meant years of hard work again to prove to all his rivals that he was the strongest wrestler and worthy to represent the country at the 2016 Brazil Games. The national championship in Yakutsk was to sum up the 4 years of labor. From May 27 to 29, 2016, Yakutsk hosted competitions among the strongest freestyle wrestlers of the country. Denis Tsargush, Anivar Gaduv, Huzi Suinchev, and Etsemez Senikov competed in the weight up to 74 kilograms. From this category, Tsargush and Gaduv reached the final. But the final fight was not in Tsargush's favor, and the gold went to the wrestler from Kabardino-Balkaria. The defeat at the championship in Yakutsk caused great regret and suspicion among Tsargush fans that these competitions were the last for the athlete. The wrestler himself explained his loss by the fact that he did not gain the necessary form due to an earlier injury. Denis believed that he did not use the chance to pump Gaduv at the beginning of the bout and score points, although in general the fight was on an equal footing. But 10 seconds before the end, Tsargush took an unjustified risk and gave Gaduv the points. After the championship, Denis Tsargush indirectly confirmed the fears of fans, saying that his health is unlikely to allow him to perform at major sporting events. At the same time, the wrestler did not rule out his participation in individual competitions, but on a smaller scale. Born in the Republic of Dagestan, the young outstanding athlete took part in many freestyle wrestling tournaments, where he repeatedly took first places. Since childhood, Magomed chose the path of a wrestler and knew exactly in what direction he would move. Thanks to a series of high-profile victories in freestyle wrestling competitions, Kurbanaliev Magomed entered the ranks of the strongest wrestlers of the planet. We will talk about his achievements and significant events in his life in today's video. Famous wrestler Magomed Kurbanaliev was born in the village of Bashta in the Tsanta district of Dagestan in 1992. The boy inherited his love for sports from his relatives. His father and uncle Magi practiced sambo and judo. Hasim Abdullayev even became 5 times world champion in sports sambo. However, at the age of 7, Magomed Kurbanaliev made his choice in favor of freestyle wrestling. At school, according to his own words, he did not show himself as an active student, so his parents wished that at least in the gym he could adequately show himself. His first mentors were Musgar and Zapir Rajabovs, who often showed their students videos of Sajid Sajidov's and Mekik Murdazaliyev's fights. Technical equipment of these fighters, their manner of fighting were considered as benchmarks for the boys, who learned a lot from those classes. As a young man, Magomed Kurbanaliev managed to win 3 times the junior national championship in freestyle wrestling, after which his father transferred him to the prestigious Yumakanov Freestyle Wrestling School in Kasivyurt, where his older brother Jalaluddin kept him company. Magomed Kurbanaliev's first serious victories date back to 2011. He won a bronze medal at the Russian Youth Championship and earned the right to compete at the Junior World Cup. In Plunge, Germany, he won this tournament as a member of the national team and went to prepare for the new season in good spirits. Next year, the Dagestani was unstoppable. At the Russian Youth Freestyle Wrestling Championship, Magomed Kurbanaliev won a confident victory and earned the right to participate in the World Championship. Here he also had no equal, and Magomed finished his performances at the youth level in the status of world champion. In 2012, he performed at adult tournaments in parallel, but did not achieve any special achievements. The newcomer managed to make a loud statement among the venerable fighters at the Grand Prix of Ivan Yarygin in Krasnoyarsk in 2013. Then, unexpectedly for many, he managed to beat some serious fighters and take 5th place. Magomed Kurbanaliev had no special problems with adaptation in adult tournaments and already this year won the national championship. Thus, the young Dagestani left the coaches of the national team no choice and was delegated to participate in the 2013 World Championships. For a debutant, Magomed did well and took away the bronze medal from Budapest. A year later, he still won his first international trophy, taking gold at the Continental Championships. This season, Magomed wrestled easily and effortlessly, winning several prestigious tournaments along the way. After the triumph at the European Championships, Magomed Kurbanaliev somewhat stopped in his development as a wrestler. He could not consolidate his status as the strongest athlete in his weight category in the country, constantly losing in decisive fights. Finally, in 2016, he had a chance to prove himself again at the World Championships. However, Magomed competed in the non-Olympic weight category up to 70 kilograms. Nevertheless, the level of resistance and competition from his rivals was very high. It was not easy for him in the semi-finals, where Kurbanaliev, a Dagestani, faced his fellow countryman Rashid Kurbanov, representing the flag of Uzbekistan. In a hard fight, Kurbanaliev won for one and went to the final, where Nurlan Akshanov from Kazakhstan was waiting for him. Magomed Kurbanaliev confidently controlled the course of the decisive fight and only once allowed his opponent to equalize the score, becoming the world champion for the first time in his life. So he entered the number of the strongest wrestlers of the planet. The biography of Magomed Kurbanaliev in freestyle wrestling is full of victories. The career of the athlete continues to this day, as he does not plan to stop at what has been achieved, but is working hard to conquer new heights. However, after the wedding, the champion slightly abandoned training, and therefore among the last of his high-profile victories only the following. Gold of the 2019 Russian Federation Championship in Sochi, where Kurbanaliev defeated Kitag Tsebalov in the final freestyle wrestling bout. And also Magomed Kurbanaliev won at the 2021 World Military Freestyle Wrestling Championships, which is held in Tehran. The Dagestani freestyle wrestler showed the best result among athletes in the weight category up to 74 kilograms. In the capital of Iran, Kurbanaliev took to the mat 3 times. In the first 2 fights, he overcame his rivals from Sri Lanka and Armenia ahead of schedule, and in the decisive fight, he defeated the host of the tournament for 1. Today's video will present the wrestling story of the best Yakut wrestler of the 21st century, the idol of many Yakuts, 2-time world champion, and 6-time champion of Russia Viktor Lebedev. Viktor Lebedev was brought to the sport by his father, having given him to the section of wrestling Hapsagai, the Yakut national wrestling, about which, by the way, I have an issue on my channel. What is this severe kind of wrestling? You can learn by clicking on the link below the video. Viktor Lebedev's parents are reindeer herders. Viktor's father is a native of Cherepchiulis of Yakutia, which is traditionally famous for its strong school of freestyle wrestling, whose pupils are Olympic champions Roman Dmitriev and Pavel Pinigin. Viktor Lebedev followed in the footsteps of his distinguished fellow countrymen and soon began to show himself quite successfully at the youth and junior level. In particular, in 2006, Viktor Lebedev became the winner of the national championship and world champion among youth. It was then that all the fans realized that the young pupil of the Yakut wrestling school would bring more than one medal to his native republic. The first significant success at the adult level came to Lebedev in 2009. This year began with Viktor Lebedev's successful performance at the international tournament Ivan Yeragin in Krasnoyarsk. The young wrestler showed himself very brightly at one of the most prestigious tournaments in Russia and the world. Viktor competed in the category up to 55 kilograms and reached the final, beating one of the favorites of the tournament, Dagestan, Dzhamal Otarsultanov. In the fight for the gold medal, two winners of world championships among juniors, Viktor Lebedev 2006 and Nariman Israpilov 2008, came together. Having lost in a hard fight, Viktor became the silver medalist of the competition. However, in early June, Viktor Lebedev took a convincing revenge on his rival at the national championship in Kazan. In the semifinals of the competition, Viktor Lebedev met with the reigning European champion Nariman Israpilov and won the bout. This victory became one of the brightest events of the first day of the championship. In the final, he faced another Yeket wrestler, the champion of Russia 2007, Osip Mikhailov. Lebedev became the victor, having won the bout in 3 periods. The gold medal of the national championship becomes a ticket to the World Championship, which took place in September in the Danish city of Herning. Viktor successfully started the competition, confidently winning the first 3 meetings. In the semifinals, Viktor lost to the athlete from Turkey Cesar Ekdal with the score 1-2. The bronze medal of the World Championship was won in a fight with Azerbaijani Nemik Sevdimov. Viktor did not let doubts in his victory, winning in 2 periods. This medal from the World Championships was the first for Yakutia after the triumph of the Kontavev brothers in Sofia 2001. In 2009, the Yeket athlete also won at the International Freestyle Wrestling Tournament Wekla Tsiolkovsky Memorial held in Warsaw, the capital of Poland. In the final fight, Lebedev was stronger than Iranian Abastobagi. The year 2010 was no less fruitful for Lebedev. Viktor begins the year with a bronze at the international tournament Ivan Yeragin, then becomes the owner of the World Cup and confirms leadership in the Russian national team, winning the 2nd consecutive national championship, becoming a bronze medalist at the European Championships and the best wrestler in the world in his weight. This year's World Championship was held in Moscow in the Olympijski Sports Complex. Here, Viktor Lebedev tried on the title of world champion for the first time. Showing character and skill, Viktor beat Magomed Kurbanaliev from Uzbekistan, Bulgarian Radoslav Valikov, Korean Kim Huo-sub and Cuban Frank Chimiza.
Ну да.
Никаких шансов у него не было.
Хоть полшанса.
Победа за нами. Браво, Виктор.
Виктор Лебедев вышел в финал.
In the finals, Lebedev faced Togrul Eskarov from Azerbaijan. In a difficult fight, Viktor won 2 out of 3 periods.
Так, вы видели победный жест Виктора Лебедева.
In 2011, Viktor Lebedev became a 2-time World Cup winner. The tournament was held in Makhachkala, the capital of Dagestan. In the final, the Russian team met with the Iranian team and won 5 bouts out of 7. Viktor was the first to bring winning points to the team, defeating Hassan Rahimi in 2 periods and not giving his opponent a single point.
Нокдауну тяжело Виктору бороться. Перехватывает, в туловище входит, поднимает на 2-й этаж. Молодец. Вот это характер, вот это характер. Сейчас уже нет шансов.
In early July, Yakutsk became the freestyle wrestling capital of the country. Viktor Lebedev won his 3rd gold medal on his home mat to the deafening applause of the fans. In a dramatic and colorful final in the category up to 55 kilograms, Viktor Lebedev, the reigning champion of Russia and the world, and Dzhamal Otarsultanov, 2-time European champion, met. The first period was left for Viktor. He managed to get to his feet a few seconds before the end and finish the segment in his favor. In the 2nd period, the lot decided who to take the tackle. It fell to Otarsultanov. However, Lebedev resisted and eventually became the champion.
Вот сел, положение, но борьба не заканчивается, они должны зафиксировать. Вот сейчас положение обоюдно. Если Джамал выйдет назад, должен перевести. Виктор Лебедев очень здорово ушел здесь. Очень здорово ушел, почувствовал положение, опять же было. Очень надо рисковать, осталось буквально 20 секунд, 15. Если сейчас уйдет захвата Лебедев, то все, практически очень сложно сейчас. Будет удерживать, Лебедев грамотно за голову взял. Будет рисковать. Нельзя здесь. Все.
In September of this year, Lebedev took part in the World Championship, which was held in Istanbul, Turkey. Viktor was again able to defend this title, winning in the quarterfinals against Cuban Frank Chimizo. in the semifinals against Kazakh Dalit Niyazbekov. And in the decisive bout defeated the medalist of the Olympic Games in Beijing, Bulgarian Radoslav Velikov. The 2012 Pre-Olympic National Championship in freestyle wrestling was hosted by St. Petersburg. These competitions were qualifiers for the Olympic Games 2012 in London. In the category up to 55 kilograms, Viktor Lebedev reached the final. But in the bout, which decided who would go to defend the honor of the country in London, Viktor lost to Dzhamal Otarsultanov. The bout was very tense. The first period ended with zeros on the scoreboard. In the clinch, Otarsultanov was lucky. In the second period, Viktor's rival was ahead again with a minimal gap. There was not much time left, and so the champion of the country for the last 3 years, the unquestionable leader of the weight category up to 55 kilograms, remained without the Olympic Games. For Viktor, it was a cruel test of his strength. Whether Viktor could continue his sports career and pursuit of his dream, an Olympic medal, all the fans asked at that time. Viktor, however, was able to survive this disappointment and proved that he is tough. In March 2014, Viktor Lebedev, as part of the national team, won a silver medal at the World Cup, which was held in Los Angeles. The Team Cup was played by the top 10 national teams based on the results of the last World Championships. The teams were divided into 2 groups of 5 teams. The winners of each group met in the final. The Russian team confidently won the first place in Group B, having defeated the teams of Mongolia, Ukraine, Japan and Georgia, but in the final lost to the team of Iran with a score of 2-6. Viktor Lebedev did not lose a single bout, and in the final defeated the reigning world champion Iranian Hassan Rahimi for 3. Viktor took the decisive point just 5 seconds before the final whistle.
Lebedev takedown 2 with 6 seconds on the clock. He's gonna win it. Wow, what a comeback for Viktor Lebedev of Russia. Insane match.
In the summer, Viktor Lebedev again, for the 4th time, became the country's champion. The 2-time world champion confidently reached the final, winning against Bryatia's Bazar Chalsapov and wrestlers from Yakutia Orient Utrin, Edward Grigoriev and Nikolai Oklapkov. And in the fight for the right to climb to the top step of the podium, Viktor won 6-2 against Omek Suryan from the Novosibirsk region.
Растянулся этим и воспользовался Виктор. Есть опыт, двукратный чемпион мира все-таки Виктор 9.
The 2014 World Championships were unsuccessful for Viktor Lebedev. In the quarterfinals, he lost to the reigning world champion from Iran, Hassan Rahimi. In 2015, Viktor started 2015 very brightly, winning the Ivan Yerigin International Tournament in Krasnoyarsk. In the final, he left no chance to the winner of the Intercontinental Cup 2014, Ismail Musukev from Dagestan, beating him 7-1. Already in May, Viktor won another gold medal at the National Championship in Dagestan. Kaspiysk hosted the competition for the first time. In the final, Lebedev again meets Ismail Musukev and beats his opponent 2-1. In the summer, Viktor Lebedev became the strongest freestyle wrestler in the weight category up to 57 kilograms at the first ever European Games in the capital of Azerbaijan, Baku. In the bout for the gold medal, Viktor won 8-0 against Marcel Yold from Germany. In September, Viktor Lebedev brought the 17th medal of the World Freestyle Wrestling Championships in the history of Yakutia and won an Olympic license for Russia for the 2nd time in his career. The competition of the world's strongest wrestlers was hosted by Las Vegas. After his defeat by Iran's Hassan Rahimi, Viktor Lebedev was able to properly adjust for the bronze final against the winner of the 2014 Asian Games, Yeon Hak-jin from North Korea, and confidently brought the bout to a 3-0 victory. At the beginning of the 2016 Olympic year, Viktor Lebedev won a bronze medal at the prestigious Ivan Yerigin tournament in Krasnoyarsk. In the duel for the award, Viktor was stronger than the winner of the 2015 Russian Youth Championship, Kazakh Shim. On May 27, Yakutsk became the scene of the best wrestlers of the country, hosting the Pre-Olympic Championship of Russia. In the weight category up to 57 kilograms, Viktor Lebedev and wrestler from Buryatia Alexander Bogomoev became finalists. During the hard-fought bout, Bogomolov received 3 warnings for passivity. At the last warning, he was given 30 seconds to earn a point, but the athlete failed to do so. Thus, the meeting ended with the score 1-1 in favor of Lebedev. 2 wrestlers from Yakutia took part in the Olympic Games in Rio de Janeiro, Viktor Lebedev for the Russian national team and Dzhamal Otarsultanov for Kyrgyzstan. Having gone through fire, water and copper pipes, Viktor still came to the Olympic carpet. In the first bout, Viktor met with the reigning Asian champion Sandeep Tomar from India. Lebedev started the tournament confidently, beating his opponent 7-3. In the next round, he faced 2013 world champion Hassan Rahimi from Iran. The score of personal meetings between the wrestlers before the bout was 2-2. However, this time luck was on the side of his opponent. Lebedev, having not trained in recent months, having spent an irretrievable amount of nervous energy on the courts with anti-doping authorities, and, finally, having won, could not count on optimal conditions by definition. Unfortunately, Dzhamal Otarsultanov could not compete for medals, having lost to the representative of the Polish national team Robert Baran. The Olympic carpet of Rio became the last competition for Viktor Lebedev. In May 2017, Yakutia's best wrestler of the 21st century officially announced the end of his sports career.